And out of the blue, you get an email.
Right. Or maybe just a text message.
Exactly. And it's from somebody who used to report to you. They're just checking in. Maybe they mentioned something specific you taught them, or how you handled a really tough situation fairly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Fahmy Abdeen, who wrote Good Management 2025, says that kind of contact. Well, he says it's basically the best thing anyone in a management position can hear.
And what's really striking about that, isn't it, is why those connections last. It's usually not because you were like a pushover or super easygoing all the time.
No, not at all.
Abdeen really stresses that these bonds form because you genuinely added something, some unique value to their professional lives. Maybe you taught them a skill, maybe you were just consistently fair.
And getting that message, it can make you forget all the long hours and the day-to-day frustrations.
It really speaks to making a real human impact beyond just the job description.
So, okay, what does this actually mean for managers listening right now? Today, we're diving deep into Abdeen's top 5 secrets for exceptional management. And these aren't just like nice ideas. They're methods, he says, are proven. Implement them. And the promise is you'll secure that lasting place in your people's hearts.
You leave a positive legacy.
A legacy, yeah, that's the goal.
So our mission today is really to unpack these secrets, get into the details, see how they work, and maybe how you can apply them.
And Abdeen's starting point really frames it well. He says the true measure of success isn't just hitting targets, is it?
Right. It's more than the KPIs.
It's that unique value, the kind that makes people want to stay in touch years later. It's about that professional growth combined with a real human connection.
And he's pretty bold with his promise for these secrets. He actually says they will guarantee you a place in the hearts of your people long after you, or they have moved on to bigger and better things.
That's a big claim. It's not just about managing tasks. It's about impacting lives, really. Which, naturally, leads us to the first big step for any manager: hiring.
Absolutely. And Abdeen tackles a really common fear head on. This anxiety some managers have about hiring people who might actually be smarter or, more talented than they are.
Yeah, that feeling of being threatened, maybe? Worried about being upstaged?
Exactly. It's a very human thing to feel, I think. But Abdeen is pretty direct about it.
He is. He just says only weak managers feel that way.
Ouch. Yeah.
So what is it about that? Is it just ego? Or is it something deeper that makes them feel threatened?
Well, ego's definitely part of it, I'd say. But it seems to be more about seeing talent as a threat, like it's a zero-sum game. If they shine, I somehow dim.
Right, right.
But Abdeen argues skilled, confident managers see the complete opposite. They know they will be the long-term beneficiary of bringing in top talent, even if that talent outshines them in certain areas.
It's about the collective win then.
Yeah.
Like a rising tide lifts all boats.
Precisely. And he lays out the concrete benefits pretty clearly. Hiring smart, talented people boosts everything.
Everything. Like what specifically?
Well, productivity goes up, quality improves, you get more creativity, stronger commitment from the team, even internal and external satisfaction increases.
Wow. So the end result is just better outcomes across the board.
Exactly. It sounds almost simple, but when you think about the ripple effect of bringing in really great people, it makes perfect sense.
Okay, so you hire these smart people. But Abdeen says skill isn't the only thing. He pivots to attitude, right?
Yes, and this is huge. Secret number 2, hire and fire for attitude. He has this great analogy. Employees with positive attitudes are like gems.
Gems. How so?
They're rare, he says. They radiate this positive energy, this beauty. Their can-do approach just energizes everyone around them. And crucially, they're usually much easier to teach and manage even when things get tough.
And the flip side, the negative attitude.
He calls that a plague, which is a pretty strong word.
Yeah, definitely paints the picture.
He says it's contagious, it spreads destruction, turmoil. You can almost feel the air go out of a team when that negativity takes hold. He seems to speak from some hard experience there.
You can tell.
Yeah.
And it connects to this warning he gives about hiring out of desperation, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. He says he learned the hard way. Don't cut corners or hire out of desperation just because you're understaffed.
It's tempting, though, right? Just fill the gap quickly.
So tempting. But he warned you and your team will end up paying a much higher price later for that bad hire, especially because a really ingrained negative attitude is incredibly hard to shift or remove. It can poison the well.
Okay, so you've hired smart people with great attitudes. What's next for unlocking their potential?
Trust and delegation. Secret 3 is trust and delegate, trust and verify. Sounds straightforward, but there's a lot packed in there.
Yeah, the core idea seems to be you have to trust people if you want them to trust you back.
Exactly. And if you've done the hiring right, Abdeen says trust and delegation should be the natural next step.
But he's specific about delegation, not just being, like, randomly tossing tasks out.
Right. He calls it a skill. It's about assigning the right responsibility to the right person at the right time. Not just giving tasks, but matching responsibility to capability and maybe even aspiration.
And if you get that wrong, if you give the wrong task to someone not ready for it,
Well, they're likely to fail, aren't they? And then they feel inadequate. But here's the kicker. Often the manager blames the employee when actually the root cause was the manager's poor delegation, their poor judgment.
that's a tough realization for a manager.
It is. And this delegation, this trust, it doesn't mean just washing your hands of it all.
No, it's not abdication. And it's not micromanagement either, right? It's that balance.
That's the trust and verify part. You provide clear direction, the resources they need, motivation, encouragement, and then critically, you do periodic follow-up.
Not to constantly check up on them, but to verify progress.
Yeah.
To support them.
Exactly. To check in, offer help, boost performance, make sure things are on track. It's supportive oversight, not suspicion.
Okay, that makes sense. And this idea of support and fairness seems to lead right into the next secret.
It does. Secret 4. Be fair and don't hold a grudge. Abdeen mentions that one of the most common complaints he hears in training is some version of, I'm not treated justly.
Yeah, I can imagine. Things like favoritism or unequal workloads, maybe not getting rewards or promotions that feel deserved.
All of that. It taps into this fundamental human need for equity, for fairness.
And the impact of being fair. Abdeen says it's one of those things people remember long, long after you're gone. It builds your reputation.
It really does. And the opposite, injustice, he says it just destroys morale and trust, kills motivation, breeds resentment.
So how does this play out practically, like when someone makes a mistake or needs correction?
That's where the second part comes in. Don't hold a grudge. Be mature and professional. Separate the action from the actor.
So address the mistake or the performance issue, but don't make it personal.
Right. Good managers, he says, they evaluate, they correct, maybe teach, maybe reprimand, but then they move on.
They don't keep bringing it up.
No. They recognize people aren't perfect. They remember their own mistakes. They don't make an employee responsible for a lifetime over one slip-up. That ability to move forward is crucial for maintaining trust.
Okay, that's powerful. And that leads us to the final secret, number 5.
Yes, make them shine and you will shine with them. This one really contrasts the exceptional manager with, well, the less effective ones.
He talks about the black hole manager here, doesn't he?
He does. The manager who feels threatened by their own team's success, the ones who try to suck every shining light around them into their darkness, they want to be the only star.
It sounds kind of sad, actually, but probably quite common.
Unfortunately, yes. But Abdeen champions the opposite approach. The confident manager isn't threatened by shining stars on their team. Why would they be? They hired them.
Right. They should be proud.
Exactly. His view is let the whole department shine. Because business, as he puts it, is a collective game, and in order to win, all players must participate with 100% effort.
It's not just about being nice. It's strategically smart. If you try to hide talent.
You stifle your own team's potential. And he gives a stark warning. If you try to hide your shining stars, they will find another place to shine, and all you will have left is darkness.
Oof. That's blunt. Talent finds a way, doesn't it?
It does. So the bottom line is, when the team succeeds, when they win, all the team players should be on the stage to be given credit for their personal contributions. Share the spotlight.
It's about that shared success, shared recognition. That fosters loyalty and more success down the road.
Absolutely. And Abdeen wraps it all up with this really powerful distinction. He says, being an order-giving manager is easy.
Anyone can do that, yeah. Push people, give orders, maybe even threaten.
But being an exceptional manager takes an exceptional human being. He talks about some managers who just squeeze and discard people like a juice factory. It's purely transactional. Squeeze out the work, then discard.
That's a pretty grim image. So it really comes down to a choice, doesn't it?
Yeah. It seems so. Are you going to be that transactional squeeze and discard type? Or are you going to be the kind of manager who leaves a legacy and positive prints on others?
Which he calls an art form, something rare. It's about building people up, nurturing them, leaving them better off, not just getting tasks done.
That's the kind of leader people remember fondly, the kind they want to reach out to years later.
So thinking about all this, it leaves us with a question for you listening. Reflecting on these insights from Abdeen, what kind of positive prints, what kind of legacy do you want to leave?
Yeah, and looking at these 5 secrets, hiring smart, focusing on attitude, trusting and verifying, being fair, letting others shine, which one feels most important for your growth as a leader right now?
Something to definitely think about as you face your next leadership challenge.